This is why I train in martial arts. There are very few things that I disagree um, with the Buddha on. If you've ever read the story of Siddhartha, there's a point where Siddhartha's married and he decides to leave his wife and his kids to go out and obtain enlightenment because he felt like he didn't have enlightenment where he could find enlightenment with his family. And when I read it, even back then, that rubbed me the wrong way, and I still disagree with it. It's probably the only thing I disagree with Buddha about. Because I feel like if you really want a good challenge in terms of trying to be spiritual and wise and things like that, try doing it when you have a family. Try doing it when you're not in the isolation of a monastery around a whole bunch of other like-minded people. Stay spiritual and grounded when you have a wife who may or may not agree with what you're doing. You have children who may listen, who sometimes may defy you. And then on top of that, you have the responsibilities of being a working person. And you have to deal with other people who are they just trying to survive. They don't care what your spiritual journey is, whatever. I want to see if you can stay spiritual while you're surrounded by all that. This isn't even my own idea. Somebody had told me this when I was a kid. I think it's because I said I was interested in being a priest, and she asked me why, and she said, "That's good, but have you ever considered how hard it is to be spiritual, when you're not a priest or a nun?" And a priest told me this too. It's like, don't just look at what we're doing as the ultimate way to be spiritual. God calls some of us to different walks and different paths. God calls some of us to serve in the priesthood and the nunhood. He also calls some of us to marriage. And, whatever your walk is, whether you're, in the robes and the cloth or not, you should be trying to be spiritual. And the same thing goes with being a martial artist. A lot of us bemoan the fact that we can't make our primary livings as martial artists. And we know, well, if they can do it all day, they're going to be better at it than we are. Of course, because they're putting more time into it. But then that's the even greater challenge. How good can you be at your martial art given these unique, limited constraints? When you have to be to work at 6, 7, 8, 9 in the morning. Some people have to be to work at 4 in the morning. Some people, lucky enough, don't have to be to work till 12. But then you work till 8 o'clock at night. Aren't most of the gyms probably going to be closing around 8 o'clock at night? So then you have to do it in the morning. But what about all your other errands that you have to run in the morning if you have a family, etc.? So, enlightenment, spiritual growth. And people look for that in the martial arts. But that's not the only way to get it. People look for that by going off into the mountains or off into a monastery or off on a retreat someplace else to be enlightened, to draw close to God, or whatever you believe in. I believe in God, but you may believe in just a universal force. To draw close to the source. But that source is always with us. Always. It's not just over there. When people talk about the enlightenment is within you, they don't mean just stare at your belly button, just concentrate on your breath and on the center of your body. Those are just physical exercises. That means it's within you, as in your life, the person that you are, as you go day to day. Let's see how spiritual you can be when you're on a deadline and then somebody's coming yelling at you about something else you need to do. Then they give you more work and more work. Can you still be spiritual then? How many of us are spiritual when we cut off in traffic by somebody speeding? I know when that happens to me, I don't always feel so spiritual. You know what I'm saying? How many of us can be spiritual within the confines of a marriage? And I said confines. Is it really confining? Or is that actually the ultimate spiritual workout? So think about that. Enlightenment's not always over there. Enlightenment's right here. And if it hasn't happened yet, I'd like to see one of us become the Buddha who is married with children. I'd like to see one of us become the Grand Master of martial arts, who's also married with children. The ultimate Grand Master. According to the movies, Ip Man did it. Is he the only one?
Call 301-894-6616. You want to find out more? Go to cecilryu.org, cecilryu.org. Peace.